let's talk about the journey to enlightenment and beyond. I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com. In this website here, I have got classified 5+ phases on the journey of awakening. Yeah, there's more phases than that, but let's keep it simple. Because most people get stuck in phase 1 of got it, lost it. That's when you have an awakening and it's all yummy and beautiful, and then it fades away. And then you go, I want that back. Yes, that's the sign. It's a got it, lost it. So you can have hundreds of awakenings. You can have ones that last, I've had them last at least 5 months. Blazed out in bliss, lost them, heartbreaking. Yeah, thank you for the perfectly timed Cresty there. The second phase is Adyashanti's word, would be non-abiding. That's where it's kind of, the habit's growing, you're getting used to being in the place of presence. If you're using this framework here and the steps that I talk about, you'll be doing correct presence practice. Not presence practice, correct presence practice. So you check the steps. That way you have evidence, you've gone through them. You just go, ooh, when I'm not present, I'm here. No, that's got it, lost it. Eckhart Tolle does a great service to a lot of people by saying that, because people go to their head and they go, yeah, I can think space, I'm there. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people have tried debating this with me. It's just like, feel your bum. Get in your body. What's your breathing doing? What's going on inside your torso? What emotions are floating around? And can you hold them in the presence, which is the biggest space, which is step 3. So non-abiding is quite an important phase. That's where you'll go through what Carl Jung defines as the individuation process as you head towards phase 3, abiding presence, abiding awakening, real McCoy, level 1, plum duff, basic enlightenment, which is still incredibly rare. However, with the laws of grace and what's on offer in this website, if you don't do it in 5 years, well, there's something you need personal feedback on. Blind spots, what's stopping you? Are you doing correct presence practice correctly? That's why it has the word correct in it. Not thinking I am present. You actually have to check the steps until you're amazingly amazing at it, and even then if you check it all deep and more, absolutely. So enlightenment is phase 3. Beautiful Cresty, you coming up? You're nasty and then you scare people off. Yeah. Brown Jr. Yeah. Meow, meow. And all that fuss means when you're abiding, you're in phase 3, your presence is instantaneous, you still check, and you can handle arguments like just happened here with the cockatoos. You'll get your presence back, and then it settles. Then it becomes really rock solid. When you're having arguments, you can hold presence. You can hold presence with broken bones and impending emergencies, so you can function. That's phase 4, matured abidance, which is referenced by Adyashanti and Nisargadatta Maharaj. Takes 5 to 20 years to settle into that one, because all of your personality, all of your ego, all of your habits, all of those situations in life need to ground your nothingness, everythingness with you in life, in pandemics, in jobs, and it's here. Then the second cycle may hit, and wow, that's intense. Transpersonal, that's where your person, your individuation then starts to merge with others, places, things, people. It's not empathy like psychics have. It's with the awakened awareness, like you're literally aware of their soul, even though that person's personality might not be consciously aware of it. And this is where you really do need a well-balanced, strong, stable ego that's matured into the abiding phase, matured abidance phase 4, so you don't lose your mind. Because you need to know where you start and stop. And this is the purpose for the ego, eh? It's not something you just abuse. I mean, try and prove me wrong. Prove Carl Jung wrong. Carl Jung has it right, eh? Brown Jr., you're a boss. You're being the boss. So once you've matured in the abiding place of presence, of awakening, of real enlightenment, which is phase 4, and you could say it's stage 2 of enlightenment. It's matured, it's stable. When life hell happens, you're here. And you can, a lot of the time, stay in contact viscerally via your body with correct presence practice, the nothingness, the everythingness, the undefinable yum-yum that's just the sparkling non-sparkle. And I use that sort of language because all the masters can't really say it properly. Ooh, it's just this. Yeah, it is. But it becomes visceral because it's real and it has substance. And your ego, that terribly bad thing, manages to stabilize with that in the matured abidance. It does, it stabilizes. Step 4 of the presence practice, the nothingness. Go watch that page in that video where I get blissed off my face while I'm talking about it, while I stand in front of the frog pond. So the second cycle is transpersonal. Oh boy, now that is tough. So stages 5, 6, 7 and 8, because it just repeats the same 4 levels, the same 4 phases, just at a higher cycle. So it's you, God and other things. And it has some pretty full-on lessons with it. It's not easy. You have to redefine. You coming back? Come on. So the transpersonal is really hard to discuss. So in that video, in that page, I do a reasonable job. Most teachers can't explain what awakening is because it's beyond your head. Your head never gets it. Your ego never gets it. What does happen though is you become accustomed to it. So it doesn't matter if your head can't understand it or not, and you still have to check the steps. That way you know your head's not making you go unconscious and lost, thinking you have it, creating it in your head, creating space and bliss, which is entirely possible. A lot of people do it, and I did it for 12 years. 12 years. It's a long time to create bliss and space. And everybody's mind has that capability. So the steps here are so concrete, and you can check them, and they grow, and your self-honesty, i.e. law 0, pillar 4, your acuity, your capacity for sensing deepens, so you can tell if it's real or not, or if you're just making it up in your head. And if you're not too sure, then you do the steps of correct presence practice. Then you have the evidence, so it's real. Each phase will generally take a year or 2 or 3, depending on how well you're doing it. If you're doing your correct presence practice in a way that's real, not imagined, not thought, not believing a theory, and then it'll have an impact on your life, eh? So it's really noticeable. Like, you know, let's mention one word, pandemic. Were you full of bliss and peace and happiness and connected to the God thing through that entire process? My city now holds the dubious honour of being the most locked down city in the entire world ever now, and we've still got like 4 weeks to go. It's been great for practice. All that distraction gone. Feeling everybody going crazy because I do the transpersonal thing. Yeah, that's no fun. So that's a brief summary of the phases. It does take a while to understand what they mean, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with it. But if you follow what's in the correct presence practice course and do your practice correctly, and you will get at least one session with me through that, because you have to, so I know you're doing it right. So many people think they're excessively enlightened, and then their presence practice is so bad they're in dreamland. Claimers are easy to spot. Bandwidth tells me, because I can feel it. It has a bandwidth. We all stuff up. This is why I do one-on-one coaching, and there's the Mastery Club. And the courses, they're so precise, they're all practice sessions. They are. And if you action it and say the steps as I ask you to check your presence, you'll ground the habit. So all of the phases have very distinctive hallmarks. How quickly can you bring yourself into full grounded presence on a consistent basis within the range of activities that happen in normal life, like freakouts. One bird stayed conscious, everybody else had vanished. Come on, come over here and show the people. When everybody else goes into fight flight, what do? Into your body, check your inner body, check your presence. That's the structure. Just step for the nothingness there. It will be eventually with time, and as your neurology gets used to handling the everything in your body while you're being a human being with your ego. It's totally required. And I explain all that in the videos and in this website. So that's the summary of the phases of awakening. See you in the next video. I'm Jason for AwakenedEssence.com.